Hi, and welcome back to Soma Sutra. My name's Suzanne, and I'm your trauma release practitioner, Soma breath coach, healer, and intimacy coach. So today I've got quite a fun topic I want to talk about. It's really interesting, but it's really important. So it's all about recognizing facial expressions and cues that you get from people. So it's when you first meet somebody, it's those very first few seconds when you clap eyes on somebody, those very first thoughts, before they've had time to change your mind or charm you, they're normally the right thought. I always teach people to go with their gut instinct, and that very first gut reaction is normally the right one. So we're going to get straight into it. So I've had quite a bit of experience myself on a professional dating site and the regular nasty ones that we all try. And I've come across quite a few, been on quite a few dates, and I've come across quite a few different types of people. And they range from completely deceitful, deceptive, and very disingenuous, and no intention whatsoever of getting into any kind of relationship or anything. They're literally just sex tourists. And I've come across people who they like the idea, but they're actually completely not ready. They're avoidant, they're non-committal, they're playing you basically, because they haven't actually dealt with their own trauma and their own wounds, and they're not ready to get into another relationship. And there's hundreds and thousands of these people on dating apps, loads. Most of them are on the dating apps because they can't commit, they can't move forward, they can't engage in anything meaningful because they haven't dealt with their past trauma. It could even be trauma from their childhood. It could be, lack of trust because of their relationship breakup. There's many reasons why somebody wouldn't want to get into something, and subconsciously quite often they don't even know why they're being avoidant. They just know that the minute something progresses or the minute they feel something, they want to run a mile, and that is literally because they haven't given themselves time to heal, or they haven't addressed their past trauma that's making this kind of avoidant behaviour. So it is a great topic, and I had the privilege of working with a guy a couple of years ago, and he taught me so much. So things that I never even thought about. So on this journey of self-discovery, really, and I always trusted people implicitly, and invariably was proved wrong. So I really had to learn not to keep judging people by my own standards, and that people don't always have the same intentions of you. People don't always have your best intentions at heart. A lot of people are very manipulative and very self-serving, and they're very good at it. I mean, I know people that have just made a career out of it, literally, just out of manipulating people and having everything on their terms, and pulling everything round to be of benefit for them. So one of the very first things is eye contact. So we need coaching, right? We need coaching to go on dates, because if we're a really trusting person, how are we ever gonna, find something that's, meaningful or going to serve us, that's not going to put us straight back into the situations that we've had before, where we've been manipulated and where we've been lied to or used or whatever. So the very first thing is eye contact. So important. I can't even tell you. So even when you're swiping on your dating apps, so even if on their the profiles, they're always looking away, they're always looking off into the distance, they're always looking somewhere else, they're likely to be really quite avoidant, because they can't give you that genuine this genuine eye contact is a real indication of sincerity. And if somebody can't even do that on a photograph, they definitely can't do it in real life. So the second one is, if they're wearing sunglasses, what are they hiding? They're usually hiding something. And we can generalize. On one of my profile pics, actually, I'm wearing sunglasses, but it's only one of them, and it's not my main picture. I definitely wouldn't put that as my main picture, because I would be hiding behind something, and I could be hiding behind my insecurity. I could be hiding because I'm actually in a relationship. I could be hiding because I haven't got good intentions, or there's lots and lots of things. So if they're hiding behind sunglasses, they're generally going to probably be hiding something. So that's not a good sign either. The other thing is when somebody constantly looks to the left. I know on the screen it will be right, but it's actually my left. So if somebody is talking and they're always looking left, they're lying. People, or they're constantly doing touching their face, or they're this sort of thing. They're generally disingenuous and not telling the truth. So that's something to watch out for. The other thing is there's subtle facial expressions. Now I'll give you, for instance, in my first and very short-lived marriage, I married somebody who was very volatile. I didn't know it at the time. Obviously, I wouldn't have married him, but he was very, very violent. And the only cue that I had that he was going to blow was his mouth used to twitch. We might be having a slight disagreement, and he would go. Now, I very quickly learned that if I saw that twitch, I needed to, exit the building and get out quickly, because he was going to blow. And so there's body language, everything about facial expression, body language. It tells you so much about people. So it's something to really, really pay attention to, So this is quite a fun thing about people's character. So I'm going to show you an example of, these are some of my own profile pictures from, I've got on a professional dating app. So this one, let's find the camera. Here it is. So something you can do is you can put your hand across half of the picture like this and look at one half of the face. I look quite sad, don't I, on that half? And actually I was. I'd left my husband. I had nowhere to live. My mum was diagnosed with cancer, so I was actually pretty sad. If you look at the other side, I look quite happy, So you look, the two sides, that they're completely different. So we've got this side, and then move over to the other side. I think I did that wrong, didn't I? So hold on, let's get that back. No. Right, okay, let's have it back. So let's cover up. We've got this side, and then I want to be able to show the other side. How do I do that? Ah, there we are. Look how happy I look this side. See? So we're just looking at different sides of the face. This is sad. I'm quite scared, Suzanne. And the other side is my normal, quite happy. I'm covering the wrong side again. I need to do this with a bit of paper. Hold on. So there we go. We've got this side. And then let's try the other side. I'm going to get this right eventually. Oh, there we are. Look, it looks like two different people. So this is the face that I show the outside world, my confident and happy face. But the other side is actually telling a different story, isn't it? It's showing that I'm actually quite sad and frightened. And that's exactly where I was in that place. If you fast forward a couple of years, this is quite a recent picture. So this one. So we're going to cover up half the face. And you can see there, I'm quite confident. And we're going to do the other half of the face. There we are. And I'm still quite confident. So this is a really, really fun thing that you can do. So when you're swiping through your dating apps, or even for somebody, if they're even applying for a job, or you've got to meet somebody for something else, you can tell a hell of a lot about the person by just reading their face. So if I have my face like I'll just do my resting bitch face. So straight face, it's one half. The other half. See, they're none of us are symmetrical, but the more somebody moves into their sort of darker side of their personality, the more you're going to see that on their face. So, because there's such a thing as a disingenuous smile. Somebody might smile at you and they'll be like, and it's a very, very disingenuous smile. So if you divide the face and put it into two, you're going to see quite a difference. You're literally going to see two different people, and it quite often represents two different sides of their personalities. Obviously, it's a bit of fun, and it's not going to apply to everybody, but in general, this is what I have found, that it's pretty spot on. So there's the other old tale. If somebody's eyes are too close together, don't trust them. Now, I can't say that's true for everybody, but I have found it to be quite true in general. So they're just a few fun things that you can look into and just experiment with. So eye contact. If there's no eye contact, seriously, pie it. Really, really quickly. Just get rid of it. And if they're looking to the left all the time, they're lying. Body language. If somebody's really engaged with you, they're going to be looking forward, and they're going to be quite confident, and they're going to be leaning into you. If they're very defensive and they're not happy, they're going to be like this. They're going to have their arms folded or their legs folded, and look at the way their legs are folded. So if somebody is sat next to you and their legs are folded towards you, then they're going to be very engaged, and they're going to want to interact with you. That's a very, very good sign. If somebody's crossing their legs the other way, then that's a sign that they're uncomfortable, and that they're really not, that they're not okay with this. If you're on a date with a guy and he sits back like this, and his arms are sort of open and he's very open like this, he's basically saying, just come and get me. So that's like, I'm ready. So yeah, there's quite a few interesting and fun things that you can look into, but I think it's really, really important that we recognize these things, especially if we're new into the dating world. And trust me, you need to be savvy. You really need to be savvy, because there are so many dogs on dating sites. I've really, really learned a lot over the last couple of 3 years about the nature of it all. And I've been on normal dating sites, and I've been on like a London professional dating site, and most of the time, that nature, the nature of men, the nature of women, they're on the whole pretty much the same. So there's still as many avoidant men on the professional dating site as there is on places like, I'm not even going to say the word because I don't even know if I can, but the red one. And the difference is that, there's dogs in all walks of life. And, I always I jokingly say to my friends, what's the difference between the red dating site and the professional dating site? And I'm like, well, the professional dating site, I've met some really well-educated sex pests and sex tourists. They're just as avoidant. They're just, they're well-spoken and well-educated sex tourists, basically. Looking for easy sex. And that's it. And I think so long as you keep that in your mind when you're on these dating sites, is that very, very few people actually want to date. Maybe possibly more women than men, but on the whole, people don't want to date. They just want to play. And there's a lot of playing to their egos, and I can't even tell. I mean, girls, those of you that have been on dating apps, and you know, when you go to WhatsApp, how many of you have within the first 10 minutes had a dick pic? I mean, I can't even tell you how many dick pics I've had. And or somebody seems okay and very genuine, and I'm a great believer in go straight to a video call very, very quickly if you want to date somebody, because first of all, you're going to know whether you're being catfished or not. So you want to verify their identity. 100% do verify their identity. And if they're just playing, and this has happened to me quite a few times as well, you'll go to WhatsApp video call and they're masturbating. So that's another thing that happens quite a lot. So if you're like me, I'd been in a relationship for 20 years. I'd never been on a dating app in my life. You know, I mean, mobile phones, were they even invented when I met my ex-husband? I don't even know. It's so long ago, I can't even remember, but I'd certainly never been on a dating site in my life. So you can imagine the shock that I had, because I was really naive and I thought that dating apps were places where people who wanted to date went, and it was going to be really easy, and it's really not. So it's a huge education, but I have actually made some really amazing friends. I've dated some really avoidant men, and I'm still friends with them pretty much, but I've learned a lot. So, you know, just save yourself the pain, girls. And guys as well. There's a lot of female women playing games on there as well, and they've got no intention of getting into a relationship. They just like playing. Like I said, there's a lot of ego. You know, they're just looking for affirmation, confirmation. That they're desirable, really. So there we are. That's my little jewels of thoughts for today, and I hope it's been of use. But do start looking at people's faces and people who you know, and you can start having a look deeper into each side of that person, and it can give you a better insight as to how that person operates. And just don't be naive and judge everybody and think everybody's just lovely and you're going to wait for them to just prove you wrong, because I think you do need to be a bit savvy, and especially if you're a giver or an over giver, you need to, that means you're a very kind person and probably a bit gullible like I was, and you need to just buck up and get with the ways of the world and realize what goes on. So have an amazing day, and love and positive energy to you all, and we will speak again very soon.